Please accept my apology for the winners being announced. I actually started recording at 8 o'clock. Again, because I'm not a content creator, I'm not familiar with doing lives or any of that stuff. I had a problem downloading the results of the challenge. Again, I want to thank you both for participating and for taking this very serious. This is the last day of Black History Month. And question yourself about leap year. Why do we have leap year? But you guys have learned so much, and I hope you continue to study about everything that we invented, every war that we fought, everything that we put on the line to make ourselves Americans, but yet we're not treated fairly. We're not paid fairly. And we're the last man on the totem pole. But if it had not been for over 1,000 inventions, especially the cell phone, I can't stand when that commercial comes on and it shows a Caucasian and they say this is the year that the first cell phone call was made. But they fail to mention that the cell phone was made by a black man. Which is more important, the person that made the cell phone or the first call? I know that in some people it makes you angry because the school system is not set up to teach you what we created, along with those creations that were stolen by the slave masters, and they put the patent on it, so they got credit for it. For me to find out that the first automobile was made by a black man, all these years I thought Ford was the ones that created the automobile. No, it was a black man. Ford was just the company that had distribution of the automobile. So what they did is stole the idea. They had the money to hire workers and distribute the automobile. These are things that we take for granted, and these are things that we should be proud of. So the next time someone calls you out of your name, especially someone of non-melanin, you can come back and tell them, if it wasn't for my ancestors, you wouldn't be using a cell phone. If it wasn't for my ancestors, you wouldn't have central air. If it wasn't for my ancestors, you wouldn't have heat. And they fail to mention, except for in the movie, about the women that work with NASA. We are a very intelligent species made by the Most High. Everything in the book of Enoch everything in Revelations has pretty much come true. If you step outside right now and look up in the sky, you will see that we have 2 moons. You will also see the blinking star, which has not blinked for over 2,000 years. That was the way the wise men were able to find Yahshua. And they did not reach him within a matter of days. They had to follow the star in order to find him. So it was a matter of years before they found Yahshua. So just pass it on to a youth. Take your time and explain the things that you've learned. Let them know that we were the first to have kings, and really we were ruled by queens, many queens. The first alphabet or form of writing came from Africa. Jewelry, the mirror, all kind of tools used came from the motherland. Also research, again, I think it's in Marietta, Georgia. The Stonehenge that was built. It will never be revealed who paid to have it built. But again, it's in every language in the world, with instructions on how to treat one another, how to love one another, how to be your brother's keeper, and how to keep the population at 500 billion in order for us to continue on. In your lifetime, you've experienced red moons, blue moons, eclipse. These are things that only happen once in so many thousands of years. And in 2019, these events all took place. And I hope some of you all took pictures, or as my grandmother used to say, something for the books, that you wrote down what you saw for future generations. We still have our great writers from the Renaissance period, James Baldwin, Lorraine Hansberry, Langston Hughes, and a couple of more writers who lived in Soho and shared an apartment. Both James Baldwin and Lorraine Hansberry were homosexual, and they shared an apartment to feed off of one another, to encourage one another to write. This was at a point where, of course, we were told that our writing wasn't good enough. But they produced some beautiful work. The book I showed the other day, Toni Morrison. Toni Morrison was a very great writer. She makes you use your mind. Her work may start off at the end, and then she brings you back to the beginning, and then she takes you to the middle. And one of the most beautiful books she wrote was Mercy. It was on Oprah's book list, and many people had a hard time reading it because she started off with the middle of the story. And people kept saying that they had to read pages over and over to understand what she meant. And she had to tell them, just read the book. It'll all come to light. Don't read pages over and over. That I didn't know I had a copy already, so I have 2 copies of Mercy. Beloved is another book, and the movie, because in Beloved, Cicely Tyson and Maya Angelou played the elders that brought all the young ones together and asked them what happened to our morals, to our standards, what happened to us paying homage to our ancestors. Look at the way that we disrespect our elders now. The movie didn't do the book its due just. You really have to read the book. Beloved is another great book. She's what you call a descriptive writer. So when you read her work, you can mentally imagine and actually feel yourself in the story. And there was one description that she used when the character played by Oprah Winfrey, whose daughter was beloved, and the character played by the one who played Mr. was her boyfriend. And as they were going to bed, she was rubbing his back. And she said it felt like branches of a tree growing towards the sky. And it kind of got me because I didn't really understand what she meant. And what she was describing were the whelps left from beatings from a whip. So if you like books like that, or you would rather have books that dig deeper into African American history, it's the same email address, kissmyyellowass5237@gmail.com. I want to apologize again for it taking so long to upload, and I want to thank you again for participating.